what's going on, guys? Me, Mortimer here, and yeah, I'm currently doing this in a fairly cluttered corner of my house as we're decorating at the moment, and my bedroom is an absolute mess. First of all, from the 3rd of August, which is this coming Sunday, Service 4 will be being extended from the temporary terminus currently in place at the junction for Hill End Snow Sports Centre up to the main entrance for the Snow Sports Centre. And to be honest, I pray to God that when they do this, they add an extra bus onto the rota. Currently, it gets 8 minutes at Queen Margaret University and 10 minutes at Hill End on weekdays and Saturdays. That stretch from the junction at Hill End up to the Snow Sports Centre, that's probably going to add on another, 3 minutes either way, which had reduced layover times from, on average, about 9 minutes to about 6 minutes, which for a route as unreliable as the 4. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I think another bus is quite desperately required on the route. According to my research, and by that I mean a quick look at the Lothian article and then a quick week-gander at bus times, no new timetable has been released for the 4, so I think kind of just have to wait and see until Sunday to see if they're actually going to increase layover times. So, yeah, fingers crossed that happens. Next up, Lothian Motorcoaches have a new coach on their fleet. Enthusiasts are dubbing this one 9301, and it's a Scania Interlink.
That is not an Interlink, you absolute melt. This is a Scania Higer Touring. This is a Scania Interlink. Moron.
I have no idea how good or bad Scania Interlinks are. It just feels a bit weird for Lothian to be getting one. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool that they are expanding their fleet. It's just weird that they aren't opting for Volvo stuff like they have done basically since Lothian Motorcoaches' inception. Either way, cool that they've got a new coach. Interesting that it's in white with a black logo instead of black with a silvery logo. Next up, there has been some progression with vehicle movements across Lothian's fleet. First thing I want to mention is that all of the Gemini 3s that were to be transferred over from Lothian Central Depot to Lothian Country's Livingston Depot have been moved over. This means that now the only two 66 plates left at Central Depot are 464, which is in Lothian's standard Madder livery, alongside 465, which is in the new Age Scotland livery, which I don't think I discussed last time I did a bus news episode. Additionally, buses 391 through 400, which are all Volvo B9TL Gemini 2s, are interestingly moving from Central to Marine. Out of all of these, 391, 392, 394, and 395 have all moved over from Central to Marine, with 393, 397, 398, and 399, and 400 all still being in service at Central. On top of this, the Skylink 17 plates are now all fully in service with East Coast buses, or just getting some final tweaks to them, i.e. like repaints and vinyls and stuff before entering service with East Coast buses. Buses 601 through 615, which are based at the Longstone Depot, have all been fitted with luggage racks for the 17 and 18 to sort of fill in for the loss of 496 through 510. On top of this, all of the X57 plate Lothian Country original Geminis have now been withdrawn. There's probably a small chance that they might even end up coming back into service very briefly, because after buses such as 842 through 845 got withdrawn, they then ended up going back into service a couple weeks later, with 842 interestingly going into service at East Coast. But yeah, no, that was very brief, and they've now all been quote-unquote withdrawn. I still have a feeling that you might end up seeing, I don't know, like 850 very briefly return for a couple weeks, though don't get your hopes up. Chances are these are all going to be sold off now. Additionally, East Coast buses 929, which is an all-white 09 plate Gemini 2, and then 938, 940, and 944, which are also Gemini 2s, but they're 10 plates, and they have the East Coast buses livery, have also been withdrawn. I believe 941 got withdrawn, but it has again been resurrected due to, I guess, vehicle shortages at East Coast buses, whilst the last of the Skylinks get repainted. Additionally, Additionally, bus 698 has sort of back and forth a wee bit between Central and Marine, whilst there has been slight vehicle shortages from vehicles being moved around and whatever, as buses 672 through 680, which are 2021 Enviro 400 MCs, are all being moved to Longstone to, I guess, help with capacity. Additionally, the last few BZLs are now going up to Seafield Works to get vinyls applied so that they can enter service at Central, for the most part. Except these aren't going to be the last ones. Lothian have ordered another 48 more. We've all heard this before. This is old news. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to Marine, etc. However, in the past couple of days, from what I've seen, 2 more have been added onto the order, buses 799 and 800. This will now take the BZL count to around 100 buses. Well, 101 if you count bus 700E, but that was a demonstrator and is significantly better than the rest of Lothian's BZLs, so. But yeah, bus 752 has now started tracking on bus times, even if it isn't really at Seafield yet or whatever. Apparently bus 753 is supposedly going to start making its way up with 752, with no news on 751 or anything past 753. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's all the fleet stuff, and by proxy, that's everything for this episode. Definitely a much shorter episode, but I mean, as this video's gone on, I've gotten slightly shorter, and by that I mean I've sort of started to fall over a wee bit. But yeah, I've got about like 5 hours until this needs to get out, so I'm gonna really quickly edit that down and whatever. So yeah, I shall see you in the next video. Take care.